from texting. And this isn't just like charges, we're asking what can it lead to? Anybody?
Fun time stuff.
Alright, it's on you.
What's the goal? You don't want to answer, pass it.
No, it's already been passed.
Oh, never mind.
Wait, what's the question?
What's something that can transpire due to texting or sexting?
Like humiliation, like somebody can show to each other.
Embarrassment.
Okay? Stuff like that. That's the type of answers we're looking for, guys. Anybody else have any idea of what else could happen?
Human trafficking.
She's already thinking here. Yes. There's a lot of things, but these are just some of the things we went ahead and put up here. You got embarrassment. Like you said, you send a picture to somebody, and that person takes that picture and goes to say he's on the football team, runs to the locker room, says, "Oh, look what Jessica showed me last night," without your permission. Now you're embarrassed. Now that picture's been passed around the school. Found out in the last class, I think it was, there was a thing called exposed that happened a while back. Stuff like that. Pornography. Usually in this case, we're usually going to be talking about child pornography. Who here knows what type of charge child pornography is?
It's a first-degree felony.
It's a felony. Alright. Good job.
You know I'm looking.
He has a tendency to know a lot of
I know a lot of questions.
Remember the DWI class?
Oh, yeah,
Like you said, guys, y'all can face charges. The human trafficking, pretty serious deal. I'm going to let Officer Waltz talk a little bit about that. You got the mic. So, human trafficking, how can this lead to human trafficking? Does anybody have any idea?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, like, what if, like, the guy...
That's not a question, it's a statement.
No, how can... No, I'm saying, like, so the guy sees this girl, like, putting herself out there on a picture. He's like, okay, she's down, right? So he goes, picks her up.
Okay.
Human trafficking.
No.
No. You're kind of on the right path, though. It can go to human trafficking. How many of y'all have seen those documentaries, like on Gangland, stuff like that, where they start talking about how women get put in prostitution? Okay, so y'all know usually it's somebody that got hooked on drugs, and then they come to the dealer, and the dealer's like, "Oh, well," and she's like, "Oh, I'm broke," and the dealer starts making her do things to get these drugs. And next thing you know, he's selling her to his buddies and stuff like that. It can kind of go the same way with this, as far as you send a picture to somebody, y'all start talking, and say y'all been talking for what, a couple weeks? For y'all, that's like 6 months.
You send one, they're going to want another. So you send another, what happens? Hey, can you send me a video? Hey, how about you meet me here and have dinner with me? Okay. Hey, why don't you go over to my uncle's house this week and just hang out for a few hours? You go over there, the house isn't what you thought it was going to be. You show up, there's another guy there waiting, puts you in the car, takes off with you. Now you're in another city, another county, another state. Eventually you're over another country line.
Those are pretty far-fetched things that can happen from this.
Sounds far-fetched, but it happens.
It does happen. Believe it or not, human trafficking happens everywhere. We've had a couple cases here in the city. And believe it or not, small town Liberty has some of those crimes. I mean, it happens.
There's places here that have ties to the cartel.
We busted we're going to go off a little bit on and off of this. We actually busted a bar that was dealing cocaine and drugs out of their bar with the cartel, prostitution.
We would ship the girls in from Houston where they kept them.
Now, most of y'all see Cops and watch those cop movies when the cops go in and do the raid and everybody goes to jail, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That ain't how it happened.
We had worked with DPS trying to get this. I got some dope, got an informant, they used her. Eventually, all of it fell through to them. They had a different case they were looking at because of what we got them. Either way, we were still left with the same problem we had in the city. So we got complaints that there was still prostitution going on at this bar. So what we did, we took it upon ourselves, hey, how can we get in this bar? How can we police this stuff? Well, knowing the alcohol beverage code like we do, we know that they can't turn down an inspection. So anywhere that sells alcohol has a license. So part of that is they have to allow us to go in and check their license, check what they're selling. If they have beer only, they can't sell liquor, they can't sell wine. All they can sell is whatever is on their license. This particular place was a beer only place. We go in, we only had 4 officers on duty that night, which is, actually that's a lot for us on one night. We went in, 2 of us went through the back door, 2 went through the front door because we usually have a tendency with people running. And as soon as they go in the front door, We see the bartender trying to shut a door. The officer goes back there, forces the door back. We find two people doing sex acts on each other. Detain them. Try to kiss the bartender. She dropped her dope that she had in her pocket, but she didn't get rid of all of it. She had one little baggie of cocaine on her, so she went for that, which we already knew she was selling up there. We just had to prove it. Well, in the process, are you aware you can't be drunk in a bar? You
Let
can't
me
be
ask
drunk
you
in a bar.
this. What charge would that be if you're drunk in a bar?
I don't know that one. I didn't know I can't even be drunk at a bar.
Public intoxication.
You can't overserve.
Is
If they
it
over-
public? Is it public? No, it's still
Is it
private.
your house?
Let me ask
Is
you
it your
this.
house?
Are you in view to public at a bar?
Yeah, you're in public, but
There
it's
you
still
go.
private.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
not a private facility, it's a public facility. But here's the deal. If you go to a bar, they have certain rules. They can't overserve you to the point where you're a danger. If they're starting to do that, they can be held accountable.
So it's their fault?
It's their fault you're drunk, but it's your fault for not stopping. So at that point, you're intoxicated. We ended up filling our 4 patrol cars and 1 county unit. I think we arrested 8 people that night. We only stopped because we ran out of room to put them. We proved to point to them that this stuff's going to stop in the city. That bar closed down.
Now, y'all are probably wondering, why didn't y'all go in there and arrest the guy and the girl in the bathroom
We did.
for prostitution? Here's the catch about that. We looked into that. That was our ultimate goal. Let's go in there and hit them on prostitution. Y'all seen cops where they set up the stings and they got the hotel room and the camera? That's about the only way you can do it. That's the only way you can actually prove it. So our way around it was, hey, we'll go in there, we'll find other reasons. And we did. Alright. Up until 2011, and I've been saying this all day, 2011 wasn't that long ago for me and Officer Walter. Up until 2011, if y'all got caught sending pictures, nude pictures of yourself to somebody else, and that person was caught with it and all that, that would have still been a felony. You'd have possibly could have been charged with either promoting or possession of child pornography. And that's a very serious charge. It's a felony charge. So the state kind of was like, hey, we don't want to ruin these kids' lives before they even started. Because I can tell y'all a story. I was still in school before 2011. I have a buddy, he actually was dating a girl. They exchanged pictures, and due to Daddy finding out, and Daddy getting mad and going to the police about it, he's now a registered sex offender. Did time in penitentiary and everything. All because before that, this law hadn't came out. So he was tried as an adult with a felony. In 2011, Senate Bill 407 was signed into law by Governor Rick Perry, making intentionally promoting or sending sexually explicit messages containing images of minors a misdemeanor rather than a felony. What's that saying is, if you're a minor and you're exchanging these photos and stuff, this here is here to protect you. Instead of catching a felony and throwing your life away, you have a chance to catch a misdemeanor, which they're still not the best of things to catch. They're not great. But it's a lot better than being a registered sex offender, not being able to decorate on holidays, any of that.
They can't decorate on Halloween. If they decorate on Halloween, it's like luring kids to your house. That's the way the state looks at it. So you're not allowed. You can actually be violated and
Go back.
go back to prison for decorating your house on Halloween.
We actually do that. We drive around on Halloween and look for that.
We have a list of all the sex offenders in the city.
And one thing is, another thing about that is kind of going back to that embarrassment deal. That's public knowledge. How many of y'all have parents, and I know some of y'all probably in here in Coach Haig's class pulled it up. How many of y'all have gone online and looked up where the sex offenders live in your neighborhood? How many of your parents have done it? Wow, this is the first class, like, no one raised their hand. Your has? Okay, so you know how you look at it, you see all the little dots?
The registry.
All right, that's all public knowledge. You have to let it be known that you're a sex offender. Whether you're a sex offender from a crime you committed when you was in high school for exchanging pictures back and forth with a girl that was a couple years younger than you, or as opposed to you went out and raped somebody. And unfortunately, me and Officer Walter was talking about this today with some of the other classes. Our sex offender registration isn't as good as we think it could be for some of the different crimes, but you still fall underneath all the same rules.
The only difference is the time frame and how long you have to register is different.
Yeah. So if you're a first-time offense and you're a minor, this is what you're going to get, a Class C misdemeanor, most likely. How many of y'all in here drive?
Put your hand down.
Which one?
One.
Oh, she drives, she just isn't a
Do
good.
not drive well.
She runs stop signs. So how many of y'all have received a ticket for driving and like ran a stop sign or something and got a ticket for it?
Not with speeding.
You were speeding. Okay. For those of y'all who don't know, there's only 3 traffic code offenses we cannot arrest for.
Class C officers.
Class C offenses. That's speeding, open container, and texting while driving. We can write you a ticket, but we can't arrest you for it. Everything else, though, as far as running a stop sign, failure to use your turn signal, all that, we can technically arrest you for it if we wanted to. We try not to. We try to just write tickets for them, which is a Class C misdemeanor. So your first offense can be a Class C misdemeanor, which is about the same as having a traffic ticket. And you can also receive a fine up to about $500. This can be enhanced, though, to a misdemeanor B. I know some of y'all in here we've gone over stuff with. Who here knows what happens if you commit a Class B misdemeanor? Are we able to write you a ticket anymore?
I know who can answer that question. Yeah, I'm pointing at you. You answer.
So on me?
Come on, yeah.
I really don't know what you.
Class C, we can write a ticket, right?
Jail time, 2 to 3 years.
It does, the years and all that doesn't matter. As far as Class B, we have no choice. We have to arrest you. There's no,
Oh, you
Right.
have
there's no
to
more
arrest?
officer,
can't write a
yes,
ticket for a
there's
Class
no
B
more, there's no more officer discretion on that. It's, you got to go to jail.
Now, we have some charges we have discretion whether we're gonna actually press charges on you or not, but as far as a Class B, if we're gonna press charges, we arrest.
So what would be classified as a Class B?
DWI
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
for theft over $100. Theft under $100 is Class C. We can write a ticket.
They can't arrest you for that?
Yeah, if it's Class C, yeah, we can arrest.
We
The
can
only two
arrest.
we can is open container,
Okay, I got you.
or 3 is open container, speeding, and texting while driving.
Now, he brings up the DWI stuff. I know most of y'all was in here when we did the DWI class. How many of y'all remember what the difference between a DWI and a DUI is?
Age,
What's the age?
17 and 18.
21.
Right. Anything under
He's a
20?
good student.
20 and under, you can get a DUI. 21 and up, you're going to get a DWI. The reason for that being is the same reason why the state created these laws for y'all. DUI is a Class C misdemeanor. I can write you a ticket and send you home with mom and dad and let them take care of you and let the court settle it later. If I choose to arrest you, it's still going to fall under a Class C misdemeanor, but I can still take you to jail for it. But like I said, they do these things to help to protect y'all to where you're not throwing your life away before you've even started it. Again, like I said, this can be enhanced to a Class B, and that's going to be done if sexting was performed with the intent to annoy, harass, abuse, embarrass, or harm another. That right there. Somebody give me an example of how you can do that by sexting.
Blackmail,
Huh?
blackmail.
Okay. Anybody else? I gave an example earlier. Do y'all remember it?
The exposed pages?
Right. Girl sends guy a picture, guy's on football team, runs in the locker room and sends it to everybody or shows everybody. At that point, he's embarrassing her, creating harm to her character, all kinds of stuff. That can enhance it. And as opposed to doing that, those who are just sending them to each other and not showing them off, the people who's going out using them to go against you, show them off without your permission, they can be facing a Class B as opposed to you be facing a Class C. All right, second offense. All right, if you've had an offense before, no matter what, your second offense is going to at least be a Class B. There's no, hey, Class C, here's your ticket, go on about your way. It's going to be a Class B no matter what. Class Bs are punishable up to 180 days in jail with a fine up to $2,000. All right, basically, the Class C is there, so say you mess up, you get in trouble the first time. Judge can go, no, don't do that again. If you do it a second time, this is what's going to happen. We had a pretty good discussion earlier. I have a buddy of mine who has a daughter. We worked together for years in TDC. His daughter's in high school. She's taking pictures of herself, sending it to her boyfriend at the time. I think she was 16 or 17. He was like 18. 18 or 19. And she gets grounded, dad takes the phone away, finds all this, and comes unglued. Well, dad believes in doing the right thing, so he goes to law enforcement and says, hey, because the first time he tried to talk to her, she continued on with her business, acting like she had grown adult. So he goes to law enforcement does their deal, they end up going to court. Judge tells her, hey, don't do this again. You know, if you do this again, you can get in trouble. Today, he's getting in trouble. He went to jail, I think, he ended up going for possession of child pornography because of the age difference. He was tried as an adult. He's now a registered sex offender. She gets off scot-clean, basically. Judge says, hey, no, don't do it again. A few months go by, guess what she's out doing again? She goes back to court because dad finds out again, and dad's like, look, we've been down this road once. Goes back to court. Judge turns around and says, hey, you was just in here for this. Oh yeah. So the judge turned around and slapped her with it this time for promoting. She ended up getting a Class B misdemeanor and went into juvie for a little bit, and then got out, and she was on probation, all kinds of stuff. It's not always the guys getting in trouble. It's not always the receiver getting in trouble. Sometimes it can be the sender. Because you yourself know, okay, you're underage, and you're sending these pictures out willingly. That's promoting child pornography.